DAOs. You might have heard the word recently because of people raising money for what is going on in the world, or for people trying to buy the constitution. But I think it was important to make sure that you understand the ins and outs and the applications of what a decentralized autonomous organization can do for you. So, blockchains are already radically transforming our financial system. However, properties such as trustlessness and immutability aren't only useful in monetary applications. Another potential candidate for disruption by this technology is governance. Blockchains could enable entirely new types of organizations that can run autonomously without the need for a central entity. Do you know how important that is? What is a DAO and how does it work? As I mentioned, the acronym DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And in simple terms, a DAO is an organization that is governed by computer code and programs. As such, it has the ability to function autonomously without the need for a central authority. Through the use of smart contracts, a DAO can work with external information and execute commands based on them. All this without any human intervention. A DAO is usually operated by a community of stakeholders and incentivized through some kind of token mechanism. The rules and transaction records of a DAO are typically stored transparently on a blockchain, and probably always. Rules are generally decided by stakeholder votes, and typically the way decisions are made within a DAO is through proposals. If a proposal is voted on by a majority of stakeholders, it is then implemented. In some ways, a DAO is very similar to a corporation or a nation state, but it's one that operates in a more decentralized fashion. While traditional organizations work with a hierarchical structure, a DAO doesn't need that. Members of a DAO are not tied by any formal contract. They are rather bound by a common goal and network incentives tied to that goal, tied to the consensus rules. These rules are completely transparent and are written in open source code that governs the entire operation. Since DAOs operate without borders, they might be subject to different legal jurisdictions. Once a DAO is deployed, it cannot be controlled by a single party, but instead is governed by the community, as I mentioned. If a governance rules defined in the protocol are designed well, they should steer actors towards the most beneficial outcome for the network. Simply put, DAOs provide an operating system for open collaboration. These operating systems allow individuals and institutions to collaborate without having or to know or to trust each other. DAOs and the principal agent problem. DAOs tackle a problem in economics called the principal agent dilemma. It happens when a person, entity, has the ability to make decisions or take actions on behalf of another person or entity. Agent, principal. If the agent is motivated in its own self-interest, it may disregard the interest of the principal. The situation allows the agent to take risk on behalf of the principal. What deepens the problem is that there might be information asymmetry between the principal and the agent. The principal might never know that it is being taken advantage of and has no way to make sure the agent is acting in their best interest. By allowing a high degree of transparency enabled by blockchains, these well-designed incentive models behind DAOs can eliminate parts of this problem. Incentives within the organization are aligned and there is very little or no information asymmetry. Since all transactions are recorded on the blockchain, the operation of DAOs, as I mentioned, is completely transparent. One prime example of a DAO is, for instance, Bitcoin is considered to be the first example of a DAO. It operates in a decentralized fashion, is coordinated by a consensus protocol with no hierarchy between participants. More complex DAOs might have been deployed for different use cases, such as token governance, decentralized venture funds, social media platforms. A DAO could also coordinate the operation of devices connected to IoT, or the Internet of Things. Ethereum and the DAO. One of the earliest examples of a DAO, aptly named the DAO, it was made up of complex smart contracts running on top of the Ethereum blockchain that was supposed to act as an autonomous venture fund. The DAO token sold in an ICO that provided an ownership stake and voting rights in this decentralized fund. However, shortly after launch, about a third of the funds were drained in one of the largest hacks in the history of cryptocurrencies. What issues are DAOs currently facing? Legal. The regulatory environment surrounding DAOs is completely uncertain. However, different jurisdictions will create the regulatory framework around these new types of organizations remains to be seen. However, a continual uncertainty regulatory landscape could be a very significant barrier to the adoption of decentralized autonomous organizations. Coordinated attacks. It's a lot of money in one place. But the desirable properties of a DAO inherently carry the significant performance and security drawbacks. While some of the potential organizations that can spring up as DAOs are exciting, they introduce a lot of risk that isn't present in traditional organizations. My closing thoughts. DAOs allow organizations to break free from the reliance on traditional institutions. Instead of a central entity coordinating participants, governance rules are automated and steer actions or actors towards the most beneficial outcome for the network. In the case of the DAO that was formed to buy the Constitution or Constitution DAO, there was one goal in mind, and they raised as much money as humanly possible to try and get it over the line. The Bitcoin network might be considered to be the simplest, and now many other implementations are available. The key to designing a DAO is putting down an efficient set of consensus rules that resolve complex participant coordination problems. The real change facing the implementations of DAOs might not be purely technological, but social. If you want to learn more about this stuff and DAOs and NFTs and metaverse and my thoughts and life and my life and everything that's going on in this Web3 world, feel free to like and subscribe and join this community of people that we're building in terms of educating ourselves. And I hope you have a great day. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.